Hot Wheels. I like them. But frick, what are these things? I ran across them back in the day and thought, whoa, I want these because I like floppy disks, I like Hot Wheels, and I like Wienermobiles from Oscar Mayer. Because plastic food-shaped vehicles made solely for marketing tube steaks appeals to me. Plus, I thought it would be great to be able to whip it out and say, "Wanna see my wiener?" But anyway, unlike their typical cheap die-cast vehicles, these wheels of the hot variety cost a few dollars more and came with a floppy disk. Which was kind of amazing to my then 10-year-old self. 1996 brought about the release of 6 total computer cars, as Mattel called them. You had recreations of the Wienermobile, the 1996 Mustang GT, the 93 Chevy Camaro, and 3 fictional cars: Power Pistons, Hydroplane, and Rigger Motor. Each one of them came with their own floppy, filled with things like interactive comic strips, collector's facts, laboratories and snack bars, and a freaking hot dog space adventure. What kid obsessed with computers and cars wouldn't want this? Sure worked on me, and from the back of the package it looked like there was endless stuff to do. I mean, look at these system requirements. It required a system! And your experience just wouldn't be complete unless you had all 6 cars, either by buying them new or trading them. But honestly, who traded Hot Wheels cars? I know I didn't. They were my cars, and I was greedy. Plus, the other kids' cars were always scratched and full of sand and boogers anyway. But yeah, we're here for the software, and if you're a collector, you may want to turn away now, because inside the package you got a car, of more or less typical Hot Wheels build quality of the time period, and which may or may not play well with Hot Wheels tracks. And then you got the yellow 3.5-inch high-density floppy disk itself. We'll take a look at 3 of them here, since they're all just slight tweaks of the same formula. Start any one of them up and you get a simple intro featuring whichever car you'd chosen and the Hot Wheels logo. So if you somehow had confused this with Matchbox, you're an idiot, and now stand corrected. Next, you're greeted with a simple yet stylized menu giving you access to the floppy disk's myriad features. And by that, I mean 3 things, the first of which is an interactive list of quote-unquote facts about the current vehicle. Did you know the Wienermobile weighs 100,000 hot dogs, is 55 hot dogs long, and is fueled by high-octane mustard? Or that the Power Pistons car boasts 2,500 horsepower at 75,000 RPM from a 9.2-liter V12 engine? Pretty impressive stats all around, you have to admit, especially for 1:64 scale cars. After these downright dubious die-cast details, you get an interactive advertisement for more Hot Wheels products from Mattel. Because why waste an opportunity to market to a captive audience of malleable children? Try out the Hot Wheels Spin-Out Set. The Hot Wheels Starter Track Set with Hot Wheels Power Charger Booster, and look at all the other Hot Wheels cars you don't have because your parents don't want you to have fun, so you wait until your late 20s and blow your disposable income buying them on eBay and try to justify it by making a potentially lackluster YouTube video about them. You also have an interactive comic book for each vehicle, though the term interactive is used lightly since it's more or less a visual novel with a hopelessly simplistic minigame tossed in the middle. Every one of them is basically the same. You get some dude behind the wheel of whatever vehicle it is, and things are going well until all of a sudden they aren't. Something happens, and you need to use the mouse to solve it. Whether it's avoiding a few pieces of popcorn in space, dodging headstones in a graveyard, even though you're Dracula and I really don't think that would hurt you, or traveling through space-time bending wormholes that take you back to the Dark Ages, just click or move the mouse at the right time and there you go. Nothing more to it unless you fail, and then you have to do it again until you don't. Beyond that, you get one more interactive section to play with, which you can do on your own, or you may be forced to do so after failing the comic minigame. These each have to do with modifying or powering up your chosen automobile, and while it doesn't really make any permanent changes, it's something to do beyond just looking at a comic or clicking random things on the dashboard to see what moves. For instance, the coffin car has to be brought to life like Frankenstein's monster in a secret lab straight out of a James Whale movie. The V12 supercar has to be loaded up with special fuel, oil, and a battery so it can travel through time. And the Wienermobile can be loaded up with condiments that make fart noises. You can guess which of these I prefer. And if you finish a comic strip, sometimes you get a little something extra, like this hot dog piano that also happens to play a cheesy MIDI version of the Oscar Mayer Wiener song. And that's it for the 1996 Hot Wheels computer cars. Like I said, there are other discs, but the gist remains exactly the same. You get vehicle factoids, a barely interactive comic strip, and a place to barely manipulate the vehicle, none of which are actually as interesting as they sound. But come on now, expecting much from these is only setting yourself up for disappointment. They were cheap gimmicks that came with a cheap toy made in Macromedia Director on the cheap. Now, the only one I got to play with as a kid was the Wienermobile, but I didn't give one single crap that it was simplistic and monotonous. It was a novelty at a time when anything about computers was exciting, and hey, I was a kid. It let me play with my Hot Wheels cars in a virtual environment, and that was new. Yeah, there were other Hot Wheel games out there, but I didn't have those, and yeah, games like Stunt Track Driver blew me away just a couple years later, but at the time this was insanely cool because it was tailored specifically to the car you'd just bought, the same car you could hold in your hand while you clicked the pixels on screen. To me, that was the most awesome thing, and I had a blast. A very short-lived, childish blast that is not very fun to go back to, but a blast nonetheless. And if you'd like some more nostalgia blasts to the face, well, you're in the right place. Click on any of these in this space. I do videos every week. I'm not rhyming anymore. And if you'd like to subscribe, you can be notified when they happen. If not, you can also check me out on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and your local Dark Ages wormhole. And as always, thank you for watching.